Thanks for tuning in here. We're live at Joffrey's Coffee and Tea, and we're about to answer some of your questions. So right here, I'm sitting with our Roastmaster Chris and Miguel. Some of the first questions that we have here, it kind of relates to cupping, and it's really how you do your job, but more importantly, how do you evaluate coffee without your flavor preferences getting in the way?
So you're always evaluating a coffee based on what you're going to use it for. So I like coffees that are highly acidic. There's a lot of people that don't. If you're a dark roast drinker, you're not going to be somebody that likes an acidic coffee because a dark roast usually doesn't have a lot of acidity. So we always have a reason behind what it is that we're doing. We're not just cupping blindly to evaluate the coffee on its own. But again, you always have a specific purpose of what you're going to be using it for.
We also want a cup here. I don't know, Miguel's here with us, and he can join us in our cupping. So Miguel, why don't you come in here and join us?
Hello, everybody.
Let's get into a cupping here. So you guys do your thing, and I'll kind of ask
So
you.
basically what we're going to do is we're going to take a nice little healthy spoonful of this coffee, and we're going to do everything that Mom told us not to do when she was teaching us to eat soup. We're going to spray the coffee, we're going to aspirate it so that it's going to cover our whole palate, and it's going to be allowing us to taste the coffee and all of the 5 now sensation places on your tongue that you perceive taste. You have sweets on the front, salts and sours on the side, bitter on the back, and now they've come out with just basically umami. Thank you.
Umami.
It's the slang never leaves, which is salt, basically salt. So
Someone asked about, do we have a Disneyland location?
we don't have a set location like we do in Florida. Our coffee served all throughout Disneyland and California Adventure. Of course, all the resorts, restaurants, the signatures, and also in the rooms in all the Disney resorts. We just introduced cold brew. I'm actually going to be doing food and wine presentations at Disneyland next month.
So what is the best coffee for someone who loves mint and peppermint?
Probably our candy
cane lane will be our seasonal flavor that we will pretty much showcase for somebody that loves peppermint.
Yeah.
It's got peppermint bark and white chocolate.
What would be your top 3 flavors to recommend?
Without a doubt, our customers' favorite flavored coffee since day one is Jamaican Me Crazy. It's got caramel, Kahlua, and vanilla flavor, no alcohol.
Jamaican Me Crazy. I'm sure you've seen that around. There's a bunch of other places that have Jamaican Me Crazy, but actually, a fun fact is that Joffrey's was one of the first to actually make the flavor. Joffrey's was one of the first to do this, so we actually have the original Jamaican Me Crazy. So if you haven't checked it out, definitely check it out.
You know, Bananas Foster is a really popular one, believe it or not. And then your traditionals, your hazelnuts,
Well, that's
French vanillas.
it's good that you said hazelnut, because speaking of hazelnut, someone wants to know, is hazelnut sweetened with syrup or actual hazelnuts?
The reality is, all of our flavors that contain any kind of a nut flavor our flavors are naturally and artificial. And the reason being is I don't want to have to ever worry about getting anybody that has an allergic reaction to a tree nut to worry about having to drink a cup of our flavored coffee. So we take natural flavors whenever we can, and those are combined with artificial flavors of anything that has an allergy, is a known allergen, and we replace those with the artificials so you get the delicious taste of a hazelnut. But if you got an allergy to tree nuts, you can drink this coffee all day long without a worry.
So, what'd you guys pick up in this coffee? What coffee were we cupping here?
That's Kona blend.
Kona?
Yep, our Kona blend.
And so what do you pick up on?
This
in
is
this
just
blend
a
itself?
very, very well balanced, nice medium. It's got a nice little citrus note to it.
Mm-hmm.
Balanced sweetness.
So what balanced
Natural
sweetness? And so, so we have sweetness here, and someone's actually asking about mild versus bitter. So the best blend for someone that likes mild and not bitter.
Okay. Very common misconception is if you don't taste coffee like we do, bitterness is a bad thing. Acidity is a good thing. So if you're not used to drinking, quote, specialty coffee, and you have a cup of, like I say, it's a single origin Costa Rican, that acidity, if you don't know what it is you're describing, you'll describe as bitter. Because it's a tart, it's a sharp crispness, it gives what we call a snap in the cup.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes people mistakenly identify acidity with bitterness.
And so let's flip the question then and say, what's the best blend for someone that likes mild and less acidity?
Divine Donut, house blend, breakfast blend. Believe it or not, dark roast has less acidity, slightly less acidity, slightly less caffeine.
So our last question for the day that we have, favorite brewing method, we have it right in front of us.
By far, the French press is the best way to brew your coffee. Again, you just heard me talk about, why we like to evaluate coffee via the cupping method. This is basically reproducing that same thing, only on a larger scale. When you're brewing coffee with your home brewer, whether it's a pod, a K-cup, you're using a filter media. You're using a paper filter. We all know the coffee's 98% water, 2% DSS, dissolved soluble solids. Those are the solids that are floating around that your palate is perceiving as the taste and body of the coffee. Well, when we're doing it via the French press and we don't have a filter media, all we really have is a very fine mesh screen. It's going to allow for those solids to flow through that metal screen. So instead of 98.2, which is what a normal drip brewer will give you, we're going to end up with probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 96.4. We're going to get more of the solids out of this coffee than we normally would using a paper filter. You'd be surprised how much of the flavor gets trapped in that paper filter that actually come through here. So we want to make sure we have the right grind. You can order French press grind on our website.
Well, thank you, Chris, Miguel, for answering some of our questions. Thank you guys for reaching out and asking questions. Please feel free to ask more, and we'll definitely be doing this again and seeing you guys again. So thank you, and thank you guys.
Later.